zest from your homegrown lemon that you can trust to not have pesticide. Now we're going to juice our lemon. Now, you roll your lemon like this. Give it a good kneading. A little lemon, you don't have to do as much force, but with a lemon this size, you want to make sure this bad boy gets nice and juicy. Now, take a sharp knife. See how soft and juicy the lemon is inside? Had I not done that, this would be a pain to juice. Because it's so big, so massive, I think I can handle portions like this to hand juice better. With a regular size lemon, not homegrown like mine, you can just cut the lemon in half. If I had one of those hand juicers, I would use that. But see, we're getting a nice bit of juice out of there. Not all of it. And since this is everybody's food, I am not going to, this is a residue. I got about a tablespoon from that one portion of a lemon. That's about 1/3 of a cup of lemon juice. We're going to put in a cup of butter. A cup of whole grain flour. Okay, so we're going to use a 1/2 cup of sugar. Normally they use a cup of sugar for each cup of flour, but I feel like that makes it more of a cake than a bread. I'm also going to cut the fat in half. You use about a cup, you know, like same way you make those cookies. You use a 1/2 cup of butter normally for a cup of dry ingredients. So I'm just gonna take this fork here. I leave my butter out so it's soft here. You see how it's just blending right in, so I don't have to bother with creaming. And I use brown food, so that's brown sugar and whole grain flour. Here we go. See, it's cutting right through that fork. And you don't really have to worry about, oh, if the butter's fully blended, you know, am I gonna have a dry pouch? When this food starts baking up, the oil will disperse itself throughout everything and you'll be fine. So you don't have to, I mean, I guess you can't call me a lazy cook because I definitely do cook. And nowadays when you could just go to the grocery store and get yourself food with a whole bunch of chemicals in it to create these textures that I'm doing by hand, I guess I'm not a lazy cook. But back in the day when everybody would have done everything by hand, where that would have been the norm, I would have been considered a lazy housewife, because that's all I'm doing right there. That's it for me. I'm going to use a teaspoon of baking powder. I'm using Clabber Girl, this one right here. You can follow the biscuit recipe and just add lemon to it, and you basically have my cake. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons, or 1 baker's tablespoon of poppy seed. People in my area don't like poppy seed, so I get these on clearance at Walmart. Now I'm going to add in a generous teaspoon of my lemon zest. And we're going to take that same old fork and mix all of this goodness in there, because that's going to add fiber to our dish and give it a very, very strong lemony flavor. But the lemon zest is not bitter. It's more fruity and zesty, of course. That's why you can add it to beverages and drinks and people can enjoy it. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and add another huge teaspoon, because I want a very rich lemony flavor. I want that butter and that lemon. So we've got all that blend it in. And now we're going to start to add in our wet ingredients. You know, nice and got everything in there. I don't add salt, so if you add salt, that's on you. I don't. If I had a good large egg, 1 egg would be fine for my mixture. But I need this to have some ability to go for it. So I'm going to mix in 2 of these. They call them medium-sized eggs, but they look like small eggs to me. And that's why I'm using 2 of them. But if you had a good farmer around you that gives you large eggs, or even if you just got some nice fertile eggs that you could trust to really do the deed, you probably wouldn't have to go through all of what I'm going through with these 2 eggs here. Yeah, that's giving me the consistency that I want my batter to have. You could stop now if you were doing cookies, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to add 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice. And that's going to give us a nice batter there. Oh yeah. It's getting good now. Now it's looking like a bread, huh? Or a cake. Or a muffin. And just to tone down that lemony flavor, I'm going to also add 1/4 a cup of buttermilk, which some of you may now call Connie's secret. You could use yogurt too. I use buttermilk because I get it for free, because in my area people don't like buttermilk. So that, now you know why I'm not using yogurt or any of that kind of stuff. I get this buttermilk for free and it's great for cooking. You can lower your oil because it's sour texture. And if you're making something like lemon poppy seed muffins, I'm also using this right here because I got it for free. Let me move this out the way here. Let me spritz my pan. Easy peasy. I don't think this is necessary, but after I went through all that work, I want a cake that's easy. And drop your batter in there. All that lemony, fresh goodness and health going into the loaf pan to create a decadent deliciousness for you. It only takes about 20 minutes. This isn't a huge one. You put that bad boy in the center of the oven at 350. This should take about a half hour because this is a small loaf pan. A little powdered sugar. A little lemon juice.
It disappears in the lemon juice. That's in the lemon juice. You don't want it too big.
Oh, okay. This doesn't look like it's going to be enough to cover a cake. You'll see. It wasn't enough. Oh. I want it to cover the whole.
That's going to cover the whole cake there. I don't have much more than that when I do my bun cakes.
You don't like glaze. And half the time you put it on the side.
I know that's enough. But to dissolve it, you pretty much have to heat it.
Oh, okay. How do you heat it?
I use the microwave.
Okay, you just stick it in the microwave?
A few seconds. Yeah, just enough to make it hot. You want to dissolve the sugar. That's the whole. Is it dissolved?
Yes, dissolving.
You need to heat it a little bit, a few seconds.
A few seconds? Okay. Okay, we're just gonna stick this bad boy on. She said a few seconds, so let's give it 5 more seconds. Okay, so that was 10 seconds and you see it's still not clear. It's starting to get there, but it's not there. There it is. It's perfect now. Almost dropped my bread. You see the bread is done. You can see the lemon. You can see the poppy seed bits all throughout it. It's kind of whole grain. And now I'm just going to take a spoon and just spoon the glaze on top of it. If I don't have enough, I'll just make some more. Okay, it looks like this will probably do it. As you can see, it's not an exact recipe here. And it didn't take much lemon juice at all, I guess because the sugar dissolves. And I guess when the sugar cools down, the glaze will be a sugary color again, like a white color again. So I have been cooling the cake for a period of time. I should call this a bread because this is both low. I used a low fat and low sugar. I used half of the recommended amounts of those things because I wanted to put this topping on it and I want it to have a lot of lemon flavor. Okay. I started cutting and I said you might like to know how it cuts. Make sure I got it, yeah, nice and clean. That edge piece, oh yeah. This first piece, we don't know how it's gonna come out. It's coming up nice in one piece. Careful. I think I might have just missed the bottom of it. Nice and moist. Ooh. Yeah, so got the end piece there. And I messed up the second piece. It's very tender. Yeah, it's very tender. Oh yeah. Cake's a little ugly, but it's good. Okay. Tender.